Hi, this is Angela from Warped with a mixed media pocket demonstration. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel to be notified as I release new ones. For this project, I used recycled packaging from a Spellbinders die set, cut off the flap to make a pocket and covered the pocket with several layers of gesso. I stenciled the design on the front with impasto modelling paste. And I used a palette knife to spread the paste. You can use an old loyalty card, credit card, or a piece of stiff cardboard if you don't have a palette knife. Once the pocket was covered, I trimmed off the excess with a palette knife, then set the pocket aside to dry completely. I usually leave mine overnight. Clean your stencil and palette knife straight away. If the modelling paste dries, it's really difficult to remove it without damaging the stencil. I use a damp cloth to remove the excess paste, and then I wash the stencil and the palette knife in warm soapy water. For the next step, I misted the dry pocket with water and added some drops of red velvet and walnut stain distress ink onto the wet pocket. I used walnut stain on the left side of the pocket and encouraged it to flow down the page by misting the ink and holding the card upright. The excess ink is allowed to flow off the bottom onto some scrap paper or paper towel. Here I'm using A3 copy paper because I use it later as a base for mixed media pages. I used the same technique on the right side of the pocket using the red velvet distress ink. After the ink has dried, I cut several flower and leaf stems from the Tim Holtz Wildflower dies and coloured them with distress crayons. One of my flower stems broke, but I was able to glue it back together again as I glued the flowers down. I also cut a piece of coffee dyed cheesecloth and attached the cheesecloth to the pocket and then arranged the flowers and stems on the cheesecloth. I'm using an acetone based glue for this. I created a bow using jute twine and attached that on top of the flower stems. Then I added a sentiment card. This card came from G. Kerr's Happiness in Crafting. My apologies for going so low on the screen on this bit. I used the same jute twine and glued it around the edges of the pocket with the hot glue. This took quite a while as I didn't want the glue to set before I'd managed to stick the twine down. The very last step was to cover the back with several layers of white gesso. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please subscribe to my channel.